Top 108 Sun Tzu quotes. Maneuvering with an army is advantageous, with an undisciplined multitude most dangerous. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally, but a power of estimating the adversary, of controlling the forces of victory, and of shrewdly calculating difficulties, dangers, and distances, constitutes the test of a great general. If you are situated at a great distance from the enemy, and the strength of the two armies is equal, it is not easy to provoke a battle, and fighting will be to your disadvantage. Know the enemy, know yourself, your victory will never be endangered. Know the ground, know the weather, your victory will then be total. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy, so that he cannot fathom our real intent. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally. All war is based on deception. A leader leads by example, not by force. However desperate the situation and circumstances, don't despair. When there is everything to fear, be unafraid. When surrounded by dangers, fear none of them. When without resources, depend on resourcefulness. When surprised, take the enemy by surprise. Kill one, terrify 1,000. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. And regulation entails organizational effectiveness, a chain of command, and a structure for logistical support. All warfare is based on deception. There is no place where espionage is not used. Offer the enemy bait to lure him. Pretend inferiority and encourage his arrogance. If words of command are not clear and distinct, if orders are not thoroughly understood, the general is to blame. But if his orders are clear, and the soldiers nevertheless disobey, then it is the fault of their officers. Correct your mistake as soon as you have found it. The general who wins the battle makes many calculations in his temple before the battle is fought. The general who loses makes but few calculations beforehand. All warfare is based on deception. If your enemy is superior, evade him. If angry, irritate him. If equally matched, fight, and if not, split and reevaluate. Concentrate your energy and hoard your strength. I will be able to forecast which side will be victorious and which defeated. Don't flail against the world, use it. Flexibility is the operative principle in the art of war. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight. It is the rule in war: if 10 times the enemy's strength, surround them; if 5 times, attack them; if double, be able to divide them; if equal, engage them; if fewer, be able to evade them; if weaker, be able to avoid them. All men can see these tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. When the thunderclap comes, there is no time to cover the ears. All wars are won or lost before they are ever fought. Be where your enemy is not. Ground which can be abandoned but is hard to reoccupy is called entangling. Wheels of justice grind slow but grind fine. Regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look upon them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. Thus it is that in war the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. Pretend to be weak, so your enemy may grow arrogant. Invincibility lies in the defense, the possibility of victory in the attack. The art of war is self-explanatory. Keep their friends close and their enemies closer. Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. It is more important to outhink your enemy than to outfight him. Subtle and insubstantial, the expert leaves no trace. Divinely mysterious, he is inaudible. Thus he is master of his enemy's fate. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. In war, numbers alone confer no advantage. Do not advance relying on sheer military power. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline. Thus it is in his power to control success. If a battle cannot be won, do not fight it. He who relies solely on warlike measures shall be exterminated. He who relies solely on peaceful measures shall perish. One need not destroy one's enemy. One need only destroy his willingness to engage. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. When the leader is morally weak and his discipline not strict, when his instructions and guidance are not enlightened, when there are no consistent rules, neighboring rulers will take advantage of this. The height of strategy is to attack your opponent's strategy. Be subtle, and use your spies for every kind of business. There is no place where espionage is not possible. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer a defeat. Thus the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him. War is a matter of vital importance to the state, the province of life or death, the road to survival or ruin. It is mandatory that it be thoroughly studied. The military has no constant form, just as water has no constant shape. Adapt as you face the enemy, without letting them know beforehand what you are going to do. Thus the highest form of generalship is to balk the enemy's plans. The next best is to prevent the junction of the enemy's forces. The next in order is to attack the enemy's army in the field. And the worst policy of all is to besiege walled cities. He whose ranks are united in purpose will be victorious. What is of the greatest importance in war is extraordinary speed. One cannot afford to neglect opportunity. The art of war teaches us to rely not on the likelihood of the enemy's not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him. Not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unassailable. The best general is the one who never fights. A military operation involves deception. Even though you are competent, appear to be incompetent. Though effective, appear to be ineffective. Therefore, to estimate the enemy's situation and to calculate distances and the degree of difficulty of the terrain so as to control victory, are virtues of the superior general. There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must not be attacked, towns which must not be besieged, positions which must not be contested, commands of the sovereign which must not be obeyed. Convince your enemy that he will gain very little by attacking you. This will diminish his enthusiasm. It is the business of a general to be serene and inscrutable, impartial and self-controlled. He who knows his enemy and himself well will not be defeated easily. When your opponent gives you an opening, be swift as a hare. When torrential water tosses boulders, it is because of its momentum. When the strike of a hawk breaks the body of its prey, it is because of timing. A warrior who is prepared to fight must also be prepared to die. The peak efficiency of knowledge and strategy is to make conflict unnecessary. Weak leadership can wreck the soundest strategy. Quickness is the essence of the war. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. If your enemy is superior, evade him. If it is to your advantage, make a forward move. If not, stay where you are. If you know both yourself and your enemy, you can win 100 battles without a single loss. Therefore, a victorious army first wins and then seeks battle. A defeated army first battles and then seeks victory. If you are far from the enemy, make him believe you are near. The control of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected. If you follow the enemy's shifts and changes, you can always find a way to win. When he pretends to flee, do not pursue. Ponder and deliberate before you make your move. He will conquer who has learned the artifice of deviation. Such is the art of maneuvering. Therefore I say, know the enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles you will never be in peril. When you are ignorant of the enemy but know yourself, your chances of winning or losing are equal. If ignorant both of your enemy and of yourself, you are certain in every battle to be in peril. An army may be likened to water, for just as flowing water avoids the heights and hastens to the lowlands, so an army avoids strength and strikes weakness. The art of giving orders is not to try to rectify the minor blunders and not be swayed by petty doubts. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and you know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. If you know heaven and you know earth, you may make your victory complete. O divine art of subtlety and secrecy! If not in the interests of the state, do not act. If you cannot succeed, do not use troops. If you are not in danger, do not fight. Those who excel in war first cultivate their own humanity and maintain their laws and institutions. By these means they make their governments invincible. In desperate position, you must fight. What enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men is foreknowledge. When the common soldiers are too strong and their officers too weak, the result is insubordination. When the officers are too strong and the common soldiers too weak, the result is collapse. He will win who has military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight, even though the ruler forbid it. If fighting will not result in victory, then you must not fight even at the ruler's bidding. When campaigning, be swift as the wind, in leisurely march, majestic as the forest, in raiding and plundering, like fire, in standing, firm as the mountains. As unfathomable as the clouds, move like a thunderbolt. In all history, there is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged warfare. Only one who knows the disastrous effects of a long war can realize the supreme importance of rapidity in bringing it to a close. Like the sun and moon, they end but to begin anew. Like the 4 seasons, they pass away to return once more. The successful person has unusual skill at dealing with conflict and ensuring the best outcome for all. If this is long delayed, weapons are blunted and morale depressed. To capture the enemy's entire army is better than to destroy it. To take intact a regiment, a company, or a squad is better than to destroy them. For to win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the supreme of excellence. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the supreme excellence.